Special education presentation is on preschool disabled. So to start us off, IDEA. This is the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. This is American legislation that ensures students with a disability are provided free, appropriate public education that is tailored to their individual needs. Section 619. So this is part of IDEA. This is a preschool program for students ages 3 to 5. It provides special education services for children found to have a developmental delay or disability after their 3rd birthday. These services are often provided in a regular preschool classroom. It's good for preschoolers with delays to be in a setting with students who are developing at a more typical rate. And then approximately 8% of this age group in the general U.S. population are being served through Section 619. So how do I know? Some children are not identified at birth as having a disability, but they may present subtle issues around the age of 3 to 5 that cause parents and teachers to suspect a problem. It may look like speech and language delays or disorders. They may put shoes or mittens on wrong feet or hands. They may have difficulty remembering directions. They may be uninterested in playing early learning games or listening to stories, and they're generally mildly uncoordinated. So early signs in preschool. Preschool teachers are in the best position to catch early signs and symptoms of a developmental delay or disability. So warning signs can be found in the following areas. Delays in language development. It may look like late talkers, so children who have slow development in speaking words or sentences. Pronunciation problems. Lack of interest in storytelling. Difficulty in learning new words, finding the right words to use, understanding and following directions, understanding questions. Then they also may have delays in emergent literacy skills that may look like slow speed in naming objects and colors, difficulty understanding the makeup of written language like individual sounds, syllables, and words, difficulty recognizing and learning the alphabet, and difficulty learning the connection between letters and sounds. They may also have cognitive developmental delays that may look like trouble memorizing the alphabet, poor memory for what should be routine like everyday procedures, and then difficulty with cause and effect, sequencing, counting, basic concepts like size, shape, and color. They may also have delays in motor skills that may look like clumsiness, poor balance, delayed gross motor skills like awkwardness in running, jumping, and climbing, difficulty with drawing, coloring, tracing, and copying, and then difficulty with fine motor skills like manipulating small objects such as stringing beads, tying shoes, buttoning. And then they may also have social development delays that may look like trouble interacting with others. These students often play alone. They're easily frustrated and they have difficulty following directions. Child find. So if a parent or teacher is unsure if a student is eligible for Section 619, they can use Child Find, which is a free diagnostic screening that confirms whether a child has a developmental delay or disability. So once a child is found eligible, IDEA offers 2 eligibility categories, which are specific learning disability and developmental delays. So the first eligibility category for a student to qualify for Section 619 is specific learning disability. So this is a disorder in one or more of the basic psychological processes involved in understanding or in using spoken or written language. So it may manifest itself in an imperfect ability to listen, think, speak, read, write, spell, or do mathematical calculations. This includes perceptual impairments, brain injury, minimal brain dysfunction, and dyslexia. So some characteristics. The child does not achieve at proper age and ability level in one or more of the following areas: oral expression, listening comprehension, written expression, basic reading skills, reading fluency skills, reading comprehension, mathematical calculations, and mathematic reasoning. They also do not make adequate progress to meet age or grade level standards. So now this is a high incidence disability. Today, 2.8 million students of all ages are being served for a specific learning disability. That is 47.4% of all children receiving special education services. Now, these specific learning disabilities have a huge impact on learning. So specific learning disabilities impact the psychological processes of students. These are the thinking skills we use to process and learn information. So the 5 psychological processes that are affected by a learning disability are perception, attention, memory, metacognition, and organization. So to start us off, perception is the ability to organize and interpret information experienced through sensory channels. Children with learning disabilities reverse letters, words, or whole passages during reading or writing. Attention is the ability to receive and process information. The inability to focus on information can inhibit the student's ability to perform tasks in the classroom at the appropriate achievement level. Memory involves skills such as encoding, which is the ability to organize information for learning. Students with learning disabilities may experience deficits in working memory, which affects their ability to store new information and to retrieve previously processed information from long-term memory. Metacognition is the ability to monitor and evaluate performance. This process applies many of the keys to learning from experience, generalizing information and strategies, and applying what you have learned. So a deficit in any of these skills can have a major impact on the ability of a student to learn new information and apply it to any situation. Finally, organization is the underlying thread to all of these cognitive processes. Students with learning disabilities may have difficulties organizing their thought processes, their classwork, and their environment. Because of the effect on psychological processes, students with learning disabilities may have difficulty in a variety of academic areas. Reading is the most difficult skill area for the majority of students with learning disabilities. Some of the most common reading disabilities are word analysis, fluency, and reading comprehension. Language arts is often another problematic academic area for students with learning disabilities. Students with learning disabilities have problems with 3 major skill areas: spelling, spoken language, and written language. Now, mathematics does not receive the same attention as reading and language arts, but many students with disabilities have unique difficulties in this subject area. Specific problems may include difficulty understanding size and spatial relationships and concepts related to direction, time, and difficulty remembering math facts. Remembering and correctly applying the steps in math problems is a significant problem area as well. So it is important to realize that most social behaviors also involve learning. For example, students with learning disabilities may have difficulty correctly interpreting social situations and reading social cues, and they may act impulsively without identifying the consequences of their behavior or recognizing the feelings and concerns of others. All right, moving on. So the second eligibility category for a student to qualify for Section 619 is developmental delay or disorder. So this is a delay or disorder in sensory, physical, cognitive, communicative, adaptive, or social emotional development, or multiple delays in comparison to peers as documented by diagnostic testing. So some characteristics. This is between the ages of 3 and 5 years old, and they are evaluated as having intellectual disability, emotional disturbance, a specific learning disability, as we just discussed, or autism. So about 7% of children receiving special education services have a developmental delay. This is a continuous increase over time, and this is usually the lowest among Hispanic children. Developmental delays can affect a child's cognitive, motor, social, emotional, behavior, and speech skills. Often, developmental delays affect more than one area of a child's development. When a child has delays in many or all of these areas, it is called global developmental delay. Cognitive delays that may affect a child's intellectual functioning, interfering with awareness, and causing learning difficulties that often become apparent after a child begins school. Children with cognitive delays may also have difficulty communicating and playing with others. Delays in motor skills interfere with a child's ability to coordinate large muscle groups, such as those in the arms and legs, and smaller muscles, such as those in the hands. Older children with this type of delay may seem clumsy or have trouble walking up and down stairs. Those with fine motor skills may have difficulty holding onto small objects, such as toys, or doing tasks, such as holding a toothbrush and brushing their teeth or tying their shoes. Developmental delays. Children with developmental delays often have social, emotional, or behavioral delays. Due to differences in brain development, they may process information or react to their environment differently than children of the same age. These delays can have an impact on a child's ability to learn, communicate, and interact with the others. It is common for children with developmental delays to have difficulty with social and emotional skills. For example, they may have trouble understanding social cues, initiating communication with others, or carrying on two-way conversations. They may also have difficulty dealing with frustration or coping with change. Speech delays are receptive language disorders in which a child has difficulty understanding words or concepts. Children with this type of speech delay may have trouble identifying colors, body parts, or shapes. Others are expressive language disorders in which a child has a reduced vocabulary of words and complex sentences for his or her age. A child with this type of speech delay may be slow to babble, talk, and create sentences. Often a child with a speech delay has a combination of receptive and expressive delays. So finally, strategies for support. What can we do? Once a student is eligible for Section 619, a team, including the student's teacher, the special education teacher, and the parents and guardians of the student, the team will develop an individualized education program, or an IEP. So this is a blueprint for the best way to teach the student based on the information about the child gained from the screening and diagnostic testing. It includes goals and services for the child, and is implemented by preschool classroom teachers with the help of special educators and related service professionals. The team will also develop a PPCD, or a preschool program for children with disabilities. This may include social activities, speech, occupational, and physical therapy. Programs should be appropriate to their development. They should be connected to general education classrooms whenever possible. It's good for preschoolers with delays to be in school with peers who are developing at a more typical rate, as I said before. Just like other children, they need to play, hear regular language, and gain pre-reading and other learning skills. In order for this to happen, the programs must have flexibility, comprehensiveness, and activities that evaluate and measure the progress of the student and the programs that serve them. Children learn through activities in which they participate actively. The activities should be adapted and individualized by changing the content, by providing supports that promote learning, and by making the materials and toys usable based on the information gathered and the student's progress throughout the year. Thank you.